Bobby Peas. How's it going?
It's going good. What are you doing here, Chase?
I'm living. I'm livin'. Welcome to welcome to Live Alive, Bobby.
I've never felt more alive in my life.
That's good. That's solid. I've been playing Live Alive for a little bit now. We can load up my game. I got a number of saves here that show off a few different stories. But Bobby, why don't you tell the folks at home before we jump into this casual hour quick look? What is Live Alive? What do you know about Live Alive?
I know this is a JRPG that was originally put out by Square back in 1994, September of 1994, and to the surprise of no one, they said, hey, you know that 2.5D remake stuff we've been doing? We're bringing it back, baby, in a big way. And Square Enix brought this game to the Nintendo Switch, handheld and near and dear to Chase Kinnicky console on July 22nd, 2022. And we've kind of been orbiting around this one for a while, asking Chase, why haven't you played Live Alive? And he said, oh, I will. And here we are, playing Live Alive in real life.
Yeah, we had an episode of our podcast, The Casual Hour, which streams out every Wednesday at 10:30 Central Time on twitch.tv/thecasualhour. And we did a backlog episode, and I said this was a game that was on my backlog for this year of our Lord 2022. And I decided after that episode, I'm actually going to play this thing. So I started playing it, and I have been having a pretty solid time with it. So Bobby, I'm going to give you a choice here on what you'd like to see. First, I'm going to go into the chapter select so people can just kind of see what's going on here.
Yeah. Because this is asynchronous the way that you would, I mean, it's not necessarily like, or maybe it is, maybe you're going to teach me this, but my understanding is that there's a bunch of different stories kind of brought into one area, ranging across space and time.
So far, I wouldn't even say one area.
Okay.
I wouldn't call it asynchronous. These are just 7 separate stories, it seems.
Okay.
All
right.
So you have these different ones. I've completed I think 4 of them at this point in the game.
Okay.
And I'm on my 5th. I'm on this Imperial China one. But you have these different characters with these different stories, and these are all kind of bite-sized JRPG stories. Some of them even kind of stretch the bounds of what a JRPG is. So you've got Twilight of Edo Japan, Imperial China, present day. I like the present day one quite a bit. Prehistory, the Wild West, near future, and the distant future. So some of these games, and these games within a game here, are like this one, the distant future. There's no real battling at all. It's kind of just walking around to space and talking to people.
That's good to know.
Yeah. Some of these, like the present day, is all battles. Basically a fighting game if a fighting game was in an RPG setting. Prehistory is a pretty traditional JRPG, just really scrunched down into like a 2-3 hour
How Chrono
experience.
Trigger of them.
Kinda. The Wild West, this one's really interesting. We'll probably show off this one. I haven't played Near Future or Edo Japan yet, and then Imperial China is the one I'm on at the moment. So why don't we go back? If there's a way to go back. We might have to get into something first. So, you know what? Why don't we just get into the present day, because the present day one...
No, talking like the present, Chase.
Sure. This one has no real setup. Let's just say replay the chapter from the beginning. Yeah. Let's see what happens here.
So these, I'm gonna ask you a quick question, really quick, before you tell me about the game.
Please.
We've seen a lot. Like, I know when Octopath came out, we were all pretty blown away by the look of that game, and it seems that there's been a lot of these games that look like Octopath coming. And my question to you is, are you okay with where things are at aesthetically, or are you kind of getting a little tired of all these games looking like themselves?
I still think this is a really cool look. This HD 2D they call it. I'm not sick of it. I'm still actually really excited for the Dragon Quest 3 version, the HD 2D one that they've announced, and apparently will come out at some point. We haven't heard from it for a while. But yeah, I mean, Octopath. My problem was not the way that game looked. It was more the way that game played, or at least the quality of life stuff in there. But this game has just been really charming from minute one. This was the first one I played when I jumped in here. I didn't know what I was getting into when I played this. I just liked the idea of like, oh, there was a wrestling ring that was in there. I wonder what this one's about. Also, it's present day. You don't see a ton of. I guess you see more of them these days.
So this is 1994.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
And at this point, it's like, oh, present day. How many RPGs do you see present day? There's Earthbound and there's Earthbound.
Yeah.
So I really liked the idea of getting this. Well, you can skip through these. I'm going to skip through the rest of this. Basically, this guy just wants to be the strongest fighter. You can put in a name. I'm just going to keep his name. And then we're going to get here. Skip through this stuff. Again, he's just looking to be the strongest fighter. His skill, though, is that he can learn the attacks from enemies. Which means I don't just need to beat these people. I need to let them hit me with their attacks so I can learn them and then use them on the other people. So I'm going to fight against Max Morgan here because he is the Hulk Hogan equivalent.
Max Morgan!
And he's also...
I like Max Morgan.
Yeah, Max Morgan, pretty good.
He's a lot bigger than you, though.
They're all a lot bigger than me, Bobby. That is one of the cool things about this, is the sprite work that they have in here is really neat. I have not played the Super Nintendo original, so I'm not sure how different the sizes of pixels are between characters. But yeah,
was that a Western release too at the time, or was this the first time coming to the States?
It was not. So it's been fan translated, so you can go back and play that Super Nintendo version with English, but it was not originally English. All right, so here we are, Bobby. This is a JRPG fight. We are on a grid, and I've got two bars there. You see the top bar in the blue, that is my health, and the bottom bar is kind of like an active time battle system, except it's not time. a little super hottie. Time moves when I move. So you see that Max Morgan's bar is yellow bar is much lower. That means it's not his turn to attack, it's my turn. So what I can do, I can move around, and his bar goes up because time is moving as I move. So I want to do an attack before he can do something. So then I have my abilities. And the abilities also work on a grid. Max Morgan being a very large character, I can hit him on multiple squares, whereas he can only hit me on the one square because I'm this tiny guy. But I got a number of different actions here, and they can do different things. Focus gives me a little bit of HP and gives me a bunch of bonuses. And then I've got these two attacks here. So I'm going to attack him here with this Gale Strike. Some decent flash on that. And now he's going to hit me with the German suplex. Which hurts, but I've now learned the German suplex. So, I think
ho ho ho, now I have a machine gun.
Exactly. What's good for the goose, good for Max Morgan. Let's suplex his ass right back. And you know what?
You crushed him.
Something to remember.
Now he's hitting me with a Max Bomber. Is this one I remember? Yeah, I think this is also one I remember. Sometimes they can hit you with some attacks that you don't learn. But everybody
but
has...
you learned it.
Everybody has at least two. So now I have both of his attacks. I'm doing kind of poorly on health, so I'm going to do this focus. He also pushed me back with that attack.
Yeah, I saw that.
Which I can potentially use to my advantage. So now I've got some bonuses here. I'm a little faster now. Also, some attacks take different amounts of time to do. That focus actually takes a little bit of time to charge. And if he can, if his attack bar gets to the end where he can actually do an action, he can knock me out of my attack if I'm in the middle of being focused. So there is some decent strategy here of what you're doing and how different attacks can go. All of the attacks I have right now just are a single space around me.
Sure.
But there will be attacks that can attack a much larger area or attack from way further away, and you can actually... It's actually a very strategic game about putting yourself in the right position. So I'm going to try using that Max Bomber against him and see if I can make him go reeling, as the game says. So,
okay.
I did push him back a little bit, which meant he has to walk towards me, which means that he has to waste time getting to me, and I can do another attack before he gets his bar back up. So now I can kind of keep him at a distance. It doesn't always work. I think there's a percentage chance of whether he gets knocked back or not. But right now, he keeps wasting time trying to get to me. So I can kind of keep him, if you pardon the pun, on the ropes as he attempts to land an attack. See, that time he didn't move, so now I'm probably going to eat something. All right, that hurt. That hurt quite a bit.
Yeah.
Oh no, he also stunned me. That's
it.
So I'm dead. I lost that one.
Your showmanship.
Hey,
You're gonna tango
you little
with me.
Hulkamaniac.
I didn't eat my vitamins. That was the problem.
You lose. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, brother.
Morgan's #1.
Yeah, there's also
You'll
voice
just
acting
have to
here.
settle
Voice
for
acting,
second
you know,
best,
this game was
brother.
originally on Super Nintendo. Didn't have it. So I think the voice acting here is kind of fun. There's
And
not
it sounds
a ton
like they
of it.
redid the music too, right?
Yeah, the music's certainly been remastered. Anyway, I could go on with that. I think I'm going to show you a different one here, though. What if I showed you... let's show you the Wild West. I think the Wild West is also really cool.
Okay.
So I'm midway into this save of this Wild West chapter. The idea is you roll into town. There are some bandits. They're on their way here, and I have to now set up some traps for them, and I can also tell. Oops, there's that bell. So you see
kid.
there at the.
That's the 8th bell.
Oh, actually, I guess I've already set up the traps. This is the 8th bell.
Okay.
So I had 8 bells to set up these traps, and I also had these townsfolk set the traps for me, and they took certain amounts of time to set up each different trap. So there's a bit of a timing thing here of, oh, okay, this person, is maybe not the most efficient person in town, and also this is a trap that takes a while, but so it might take them a lot of bells to get this done. And maybe they didn't even finish in time. But on this save, I actually got everybody to do their stuff. So now we'll get to see what happens when these bandits roll into town and see if we can take them on. So I can show you how the RPG stays the RPG, but works a little bit differently. And this chapter that I'm on, this Wild West one, maybe like 2.5 hours.
So you've got 7 stories, varying in time. So what would you say is the longest one that you've heard of or experienced so far?
Prehistory has been like maybe 2.5 to 3 hours, and then this the Imperial China one also feels like it could be a little bit longer.
Okay.
Where I am in so far, and it's possible the Edo Japan one might be sizable, but mostly these are all pretty bite-sized. I've the fighting game one that I did, that took maybe an hour, but they kind of they vary a little bit, but they're all relatively short.
So it looks like How Long to Beat has the game pegged for about main story only. You're going to spend about 22 hours.
Finally.
Okay, I wonder if that means that there's something after I complete all 7 stories. That
They say completionist
After
is around
3
30.
days and 3 nights of
Interesting.
walking through the desert.
Okay.
Civilization. At long last. See what?
Do you think this is I don't think
good
slog
Lord
is the word I want to
hasn't
use by any
forsaken
stretch, but
us.
do you think, as far as like JRPGs and things like that go, do you feel it's a little bit slower than what you're used to, or especially knowing that you might go into a story that is pretty much just
Father?
like almost a visual novel at that point. Like where is it landing for you on this?
No, in fact, I love it. One because I know if I was going to play a JRPG like Xenoblade Chronicles 3, that I'm in for, 100+ hours. Easy.
Right.
There's something about this. Now you see my traps going
I
off.
see that.
Yeah, horse likes carrots. What can you say? But in here, I know that all of these things are relatively short, and I don't know what they are. So there's this kind of like, ooh, what's next? What do they have in store for me now? And it's actually making it really exciting to play these chapters. Also knowing that the longest one so far that I faced is like 3 hours. It's a big deal. I can do that.
Weird.
I think it's actually really, really approachable.
Okay, cool. That's good to know. Like, again, everything I've heard about this game at a pretty safe distance is that it's very well done. The remake has been very well received, and that these bite-sized experiences people have really been enjoying. So it's good to hear that it's clicking with you.
Yeah, I think it's a really neat thing. We'll
come outside.
we're gonna skip through some of this stuff
It's time, Mad Dog.
and get to the battle here.
Is that McCree?
Of course not.
More or less. Also, he's not named McCree anymore, Bobby. So,
Oh, he's not.
right. There was I think McCree was named after a Blizzard employee who was one of the bad ones.
Oh.
So they've renamed him something. I don't know what they've renamed him
Jesus.
to. Yeah. So again, yeah, that's all right. We're good here. That's just saying that if I kill the leader, then the rest of them will go away.
So you're back to that grid base again?
We're back to that
right?
grid base. Now I've got 2 people in my party, and now I can. But I've got some different attacks here. So because I'm a Wild West guy, I've got guns that can shoot further.
Yeah.
And different attacks here. So I can do through and through. I can pass through enemies with an attack. Right now I don't have a way to. I don't have an angle to do such a thing. So I'm just gonna do. Let's see.
Is this using the same time moves with you approach? Okay.
So I'm actually gonna back up a little bit. Hopefully, we won't take any shots from this guy. Because some enemies have the ability to counter. Alright. I actually would like to get rid of this guy right next to me. That's a pretty good attack. Actually,
The old Texas jitterbug, huh?
Yeah, if I went up here, now I can hit both of them. This is an area of effect attack.
Dance.
And he missed quite a few of those shots, but that's alright.
Well, you know what they say. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, Chase.
You know what? Fair enough.
Give it up.
Okay,
He's resistant.
now I think
Good.
I can use that through and through. Damn, it doesn't quite line up. But if I move
No.
here, it should. So now I'll hit this guy, and I should hit this guy as well. I believe.
You and your town will be dust in the wind come tomorrow.
This was one of the harder fights that I remember.
Yeah. Damn. Is there difficulty settings for this?
There might be. I'm not sure. Ha.
Huh?
That warning shot lowered my aim, so that made things not so good.
Are you? You're not a stormtrooper, are you?
Certainly seems so, right? Alright, let's do the jitterbug again.
I gotta say, the music is not what I expected for a showdown Western style.
Yeah, it's very different. I think this game is just really inventive and really different in all of its stuff it does. So I'm probably gonna lose this one as well. This is not going well.
Hey, they missed too. Good.
Yeah, there's some justice in this world. But I'm just taking 20 shots. I can heal. I do have some items that I also found here, so I can take the Miracle Tonic.
No jerky though, right?
You know what? Actually, the jerky's probably the right call here because the Miracle Tonic works on everybody.
Yeah.
Or does it work on everybody, or is it just working on? I can't remember. Let me go and see. Now that I'm closer to, am I not close enough? Yeah. Yeah, it's an area heal, so we'll both get.
Trying to get on my good side?
That's back there.
Nice. Back in it.
Yeah. And how about one more jitterbug?
No complaints from me.
Oh, just piling up the debuffs though. So many misses. That's all right.
We got one down though.
Yeah, I think we'll try this through and through. That guy's at least vulnerable to it.
Gotcha.
There you go. That's a nice big chunk.
Nice.
We're not going to play the rest of this because we'll, one, pretty sure I'm going to lose it, and two, we can show off some other stuff here. But I'm having a great time with this. There's just lots of different stories here. They all play pretty darn differently. Like this game has some small mechanics to it in terms of, is there a way I can look at the? Yeah, I guess I can't look at it here, but this one has some party building stuff where I find equipment and I can add it to my character. Ones like the one we were just in, the present day. That one has no equipable items whatsoever. It is solely there for you to do the RPG fights and to learn the moves of the other characters as you go through. The prehistory one is much more traditional RPG where you are gaining a couple of party members as you play, and you're adding different. I'm just gonna go here. I'm gonna Texas Jitterbug all these fools. But like that one is much more. You're equipping everything. You're adding characters to your party.
Sure.
I'm just gonna let that dude get absolutely ripped. That guy's also a bounty hunter who is trying to bring my character, the guy in orange here, in. But you know what? While he's down, he's not quite out. If he takes another shot, then he's absolutely out. So I'm gonna try using this Miracle Tonic. We'll save the bastard.
Hey! I'll die when I'm good and ready.
Bringing him back for more.
Anyway, Bobby, that's Live Alive. Again, I'm just having a fantastic time with it. I think it's just a really cool game.
It certainly seems inventive.
It really, really does. I'm just having a fun time with it. So let's see if I can send this
We
guy
would
for
say
you.
on the show, Chase, this has BCE all over it.
Yeah, sure. You know what? I can see that. Let's see if I can freeze this guy. Show off a different attack, too. I did not stun him. That's not good. But, there you go. There's a different mechanic. He was charging up for one of his attacks, and then I knocked him back with my attack, and it interrupted him. So it took him a while to get back, and he wasn't able to do his big cool move there.
Yeah.
Yeah, this game's great. I think it's fun. I think people should try it out. Also, it's just a cool thing that this is even here. That Square Enix even decided to come back and make a game like this, or to bring this one back from the dead. Like this is a Super Nintendo game that hasn't really been thought of in a long while. So I think this is really cool that they're doing it.
We didn't talk about the price. It is a $50 game, physical and digital on Switch. You can pick it up there. They've done a great job with the remake, from adding voice acting, as you called out, remastering the audio, and of course the visuals have that new 2.5D look that Square's been bringing to their stuff. So,
Where you go?
pretty solid upgrade for sure.
Yeah, I think so. And if you're one of those people who's like, $50 for what's essentially a Super Nintendo game, I don't know if I want that. there are certainly ways to play that original Super Nintendo game with a fan translation for cheaper than $50. So, you know, something to consider.
Yeah, there's you won't get all that sweet voice acting, all that fun stuff, but you can definitely experience the game.
Yeah, actually, you know what, Bobby? We're close enough. I'm gonna see if I can kill this guy.
Okay. Well, while you're trying to kill him, I will at least tell some folks about us, if that's all right.
Please.
So if you enjoy these types of quick looks, we do them twice a week right here on our YouTube channel. So like and subscribe where you can. We post every Tuesday and Thursday morning. And if you enjoy watching people play video games, we do that too. Mondays and Friday nights on twitch.tv/thecasualhour at 10:30 p.m. Central. You can hang out with Chase, our sometimes friend, other co-host Johnny. And then on Wednesday nights we get together and we have a podcast called The Casual Hour that we record live, as Chase called out earlier, 10:30 p.m. Central. Or if you just want to listen to GG, by the way, if you just want to listen to our podcast every Friday morning, wherever you listen to podcasts, you can find it. And I don't know how you top ending that.
Are you all right, mister?
Yeah, the only other thing I want to point out there, you saw that when that enemy went down, that kind of black goo came off him. I have a feeling that that's also happened to every other boss that I've fought in the different stories so far. So I wonder if that's, some black goo that's been crossing the different timelines, and that after I complete these different things, there's going to be some kind of final mission where maybe I bring all 7 together, or maybe a handful of them to fight like a wholly evil enemy. We'll see. But right now, this game's just good. Thanks for joining me, Bob.
Of course, thanks for showing it off.